Are you wild? Crazy? A little dizzy in the head? You want to try to open up a distillery? Well, it ain't that easy, buddy. Let me tell you. As we wrap up season 2, I thought I would try to give you guys true insight into what the real barriers of entry have been so far to get us to the point where we are right now. As you may imagine, there's many layers to this process, and I like to break it down into 3 main subheadings: intrinsic, legal, and reality. Intrinsic. Well, that comes from within inside you. First of all, you gotta have the idea. You gotta have the wherewithal, the stick-to-itiveness, and another word where you take a lot of little words and you put it together. You gotta have those things. And you gotta have that little voice in your head saying, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, because it's gonna take a little engine that can to get this thing to the top of the hill. All right? Legal. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you. Legal's got a lot of layers in and of itself. You've got the city level, you've got the state level, and then you've got the government level. And this involves taxes, business licenses, conditional use permits, building permits, kind of all the stuff that we've been going through and are continuing to go through, all follows under the legal subheading. Big thing that falls under the legal heading is applying for your DSP, which stands for Distilled Spirits Plant, and at the end of the day, it's your license to distill. Basically, everything that falls under the legal heading is just a nightmare in paperwork. You're just constantly buried in questionnaires and paperwork and filling stuff out online and back and forth. And there's a lot of dichotomy. There's a lot of, you can't have this till you have this. For instance, it's illegal to own a still until you have your DSP, but you can't apply for your DSP until you have a serial number of a still that you own. So, and there's a lot of that. You can't have your business permit until you have your ABC number, and you can't have an ABC number until you have a business permit. So, there's a lot of stuff that you kind of have to just do all at the same time, and meanwhile your head is just exploding. It's wild. Finally, what's the reality of it all? Well, a big part of it is financial. You gotta come up with the funds, or get a loan, or win the lottery, because it ain't cheap, buddy. Let me tell you. You can do your own research, but just the equipment costs alone are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, just on the brewing and just on the distilling side. Then you have to have the space large enough to do it. It's got to be zoned for commercial production, because that's what you're doing. It's also got to be able to be exempted or conditionally permitted to have a tasting room or a restaurant, which you're also going to want to have. So acquiring the space, you either got to buy it or you got to rent it, which is another big hurdle. Then you got to put a team together. Who's going to be your brewer? Who's going to be your general manager? Who's going to run the kitchen? Who's going to be your barrelman? Who's going to be your cellarman? Who's going to drive you home tonight? These are questions you need to answer, okay? And it's all just a continuous whirlwind of madness all happening at the same time, where you're constantly just filling in holes. So at the end of the day, you gotta have a little woo, and you gotta have a little kind of cha-ching, and you gotta have a lot of space in order to do it. And if you got that, well then, it's still gonna be really hard. So good luck to you. When we come back next season, we're gonna be in full build mode. Hopefully that'll be happening sometime this summer. My birthday is June 1st, and all I've asked for is a building permit. So stay tuned, smash that like button, subscribe, and you'll be the first one that's notified when we come back with season 3 right here at Webb's Grain Works. See you then. Cheers.